I think if Star Wars would just return my emails about Cody getting into the world between worlds and ending up in the High Republic, that things would be a lot better. A long time ago, beyond a podcast within a podcast. Welcome to yet another podcast within the RuPalp's podcast, Glup Shittisode. We'll be devoting the whole episode to talking about a single Star Wars character. For the first character of this new series, we'll be discussing Commander Cody. You know, my bestie, Commander Cody. Anyway, my name is Jess. My pronouns are they, them. You can find me on social media at Kawaii Jessio. That's Kawaii Jessio. And usually on RuPalp's, we do a gender of the week, but since this isn't a normal episode, we'll be answering a fun little question. So the question is, where is Commander Cody? I personally think he's on vacation. He's at Disney World with his son-in-law, Corky. Not son-in-law, adopted son. There we go.
I love that we're already pushing the Corky Kenobi agenda and we haven't even been here for 15 seconds. That feels very correct to me.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true. Yeah.
I'm Noah. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me on TikTok at The Jewish Jedi. Actually, you can find me on all social media at The Jewish Jedi. And if I had to say where Commander Cody is, I honestly think he's scuba diving. I can't say why definitively, but I know that I think he would like it. I think he'd have a good time with fish. And
I agree. He grew up on Camino.
Yeah, okay, but like, I think he'd live like a beach because he's like, I'd never been to the beach before. I've just seen the ocean. But like, I think he would enjoy it. And I think he deserves that much.
So true. Also, we have some guests joining us. You might have heard one of them speak already. But yeah, this is the first time we're having guests. So why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Sage. You can find me on all social media at Sage Sindula. You can also find me on another podcast called Fulcrum Transmissions Podcast. Some of the RuPalp's hosts have been on that before. I'm sure you've heard of it. No, I'm just kidding. Where is Commander Cody? I forgot to say my pronouns. I'm so sorry. I use she, they pronouns. Slay. Anyways, you can, where is Commander Cody? Commander Cody is at Tatooine Pride with Luke Skywalker, with baby gay Luke Skywalker.
So true. And I'm so glad somebody finally decided to say it and like speak out about this issue, because we need to have a bigger conversation about Cody at Pride.
Yeah, so true. No cops at Pride, only Cody.
Exactly.
Only Cody.
It's a really important part of the Star Wars canon that I feel like a lot of people don't talk about. But yeah, we'll get into it.
I'm Ella. My pronouns are she, her. You can find me everywhere at Che'ri, which is RRIIL. And I'm about to bring the house down a little bit. Commander Cody is tragically and inevitably in the grave.
No!
Why would you say that?
I'm so sorry. I had to.
Oh my God.
It is true.
We can't start like this.
It's true.
One of us had to balance everything out. It's okay.
I think Jess misspoke earlier. We only have 2 guests. If you notice you're being booted from the Zoom call right now, don't worry about it.
I'm so sorry.
Hi, I'm Ash. I use she, they pronouns. You can find me on most social media at Ash of Clan Ren, WREN, not like Kylo Ren, but Clan Ren. And so Commander Cody, not only has he attended Tatooine Pride, but he's the Grand Marshal at, because he's the Marshal Commander of Mandalore's Pride Parade, which, yeah, it's pretty amazing. And then afterwards, he's gonna get wine drunk at Satine's like memorial thing because
wine drunk?
He missed because they were at wine besties at her memorial
true.
Because they were besties talking about Obi-Wan.
I can't. The idea of Commander Cody wine drunk. First of all, I'm gonna contend that he's a red wine drinker. That is my canon realization for the day. I'm also in love with the idea that like Pride parades are just like where he's at. Like at any point in the day, it's like he's at some Pride. Like, you know how like it's 5:00 somewhere, like it's Pride somewhere, and that's where Cody is. He's just like this like long rotation through Pride parades. That's where he's been this whole time, actually.
Yeah, he was also the marshal for Kamino's Pride Parade, which Crosshair tried to cancel, and so did Tarkin. But
I'm also just saying, like, if he's like marshal of like a Pride Parade, I'm picturing like Cody's color guard sleigh. Like he has like a flag that he's like twirling around.
So true, though.
I think he'd be good at that.
But anyway, so again, this is our first ever Glup Shittisode. And if you don't know what a Glup Shitto is, it's kind of just like your fun little guy gender neutral. Sorry, there's like an asterisk next to guy. That isn't really a main character. They like appear in like minimal amount of stuff. So technically Cody isn't a Glup Shitto, but he definitely toes the line of Glup Shitto because like Glup Shittos are also like a character that if you bring them up to like any normal person who's not obsessed with Star Wars and has Star Wars brain rot, they would be like, who the hell are you talking about? So Cody sometimes falls into that category because there's definitely been people who are like, oh, you like Star Wars? Who's your favorite character? And if I mention Cody, they'll be like, who is that again?
There's a very small subset of prequels fans, I think, because he's named in Revenge of the Sith, obviously. Like a very small amount of fans will be like, oh, I know who Cody is. But they won't really know. Like they don't care about him.
Yeah. And somehow they all end up being queer as well. Like if you know who Commander Cody is, it's usually the Venn diagram's just a circle. That's a triangle that I made with my hands, but whatever.
Yeah, like if you know who Commander Cody is and you're like, oh yeah, he's definitely one of my favorite clones, you've got to be queer. I'm sorry, I don't make the rules.
And if you think to yourself, Commander Cody's my favorite clone, but I'm a heterosexual, you've got a big storm coming. Yeah, I hate to say this to you, but your month is coming, isn't it?
We're gonna talk about like Cody like in canon and like legends kinda because there's not much to talk about, but I wanted to also bring up an article that came out today because we are recording today July 1st, so when you're hearing this it's not going to be July 1st, but just know we are recording July 1st, and the article that I'm about to talk about right now is the one where they said that Cody possibly was going to be in the Obi-Wan show. Like in early like drafts of the script, Cody was there, and then they decided to go a different route, which is fair because the Obi-Wan show is great as it is. But yeah, Cody was almost there.
Yeah, and that was kind of like what my when I was saying that Cody was at Tatooine Pride. I truly do think that if we had Cody in the Kenobi series, not only would he just exude like gay elder energy for Luke Skywalker, because that is like what his role was to, you know, like look after Luke Skywalker. But I don't think that he would be much of like a babysitter figure. It'd be more of like a, hey, let me show you the ropes. Like, you know, like, let me tell you what's going on here. I've been dating your Uncle Ben since I was, first introduced into the world, basically, but so sorry. But in all seriousness, I would have loved to see Cody in the show. Not really, though, in the way that they were like saying, though. When I first
totally agree.
Yeah, I didn't think that he would be like a good figure, like someone who is an ally to Obi-Wan. I was like, oh no, he's gonna be a purge trooper. Oh no, he is going to be with the third sister Reva, you know, hunting down Obi-Wan Kenobi. Maybe it's just because I have written a numerous amount of fan fiction about Purge Trooper Cody hunting down Obi-Wan Kenobi and then them turning into lovers again at the end. However, you know, it can't always be how we imagine it in our brains. And that's important to remember. It truly is.
I'm so interested in like lovers to enemies to lovers.
No, exactly. It's enemies to lovers is dead. It's lovers to enemies to lovers. That's what it is.
Well, and like honestly, like maybe they weren't gonna do that, but like not everyone can be like a poet, an artist, a seasoned citoyen of the Cody One genre. Like, I think the reality is that while I would have loved to have seen him because it would have been like our first live action Cody scene since Revenge of the Sith, I'm also like, I'm glad you didn't do that, like based off of what they were talking about. And also like, I liked the way the show was. I liked it a lot. And I think that introducing him would have thrown like a further wrench in things in a way that I'm not sure it would have ended as neatly. I also like, I don't know. I want to see that gentleman happy. That's like my only request of Star Wars now. I'm like, because I know he's going to be in the Bad Batch. And I'm like, if something happens to him in there, I will be on the doorstep of every building responsible. You will not hear from me again because I'll be in prison. Like
literally, like a year ago when Obi-Wan was like first being like hyped up, my genuine thought was like, okay, Cody's gonna be in it. He's gonna be a purge trooper, and he is going to die. Like either Obi-Wan is gonna have to kill him, which is worst timeline. Oh my gosh. Or something is gonna happen to that gentleman. And while I would have loved to see him, obviously, I'm glad that is not the reality that we live in.
Yeah. Yeah, like my two big fears were like, yes, if Cody died, it was either going to add to the absolute trauma that Obi-Wan has of people that he loves just dying in his arms, or it was going to call back to the last time we saw Cody in live action, Revenge of the Sith, but he was going to have to watch Cody die, and he's like you were like, even if he said like you were like a brother to me or something like that, that would have thrown me off, because I'm like, whoa, no, you guys are gay. But just like him saying to Cody, I loved you, like just putting it in the past tense, I would have died on the inside. I would have collapsed. Just
would have been so mentally unwell.
Yeah,
when you talked about like Cody like dying in Obi-Wan's arms, it like I just had like those are like my Winter Soldier trigger words. I was just brought back to when we started RuPalp's, and we had a long-standing joke about Obi-Wan Kenobi's boyfriend graveyard in the back of his house on Tatooine, and I'm like, we can't put him there. I refuse to see that gentleman in the ground. Like, but also the idea of like getting a scene like that, I'd be forever changed. Like, yeah. But I think it would be very much like Kanan Cody one, but at what cost? And I don't know if that's the price I'd be willing to pay to see that fully realized.
I feel like, yes, especially with Star Wars, it'd be like, oh my God, we're getting the gay. Oh my God, he's literally dead. Like, that would be it. I think it's something that I literally just thought of was when Obi-Wan first goes to Dayu and sees that clone there. One, maybe I did fall on the floor and have to pause the TV because I was on the floor. And but two, I think something that would have been a nice like callback, but also would have like killed me, was if there was like a quick like flash of, instead of that clone, just somebody with Commander Cody's helmet on, through Obi-Wan's perspective. Just because when you think about anything about Revenge of the Sith, one of the most iconic scenes is Cody holding the little projector with Emperor Palpatine saying execute Order 66. People might not recognize Cody with the helmet off. I think if we saw a clone with a scar, we're like, oh my God, that's Cody, right? It happened when the Bad Batch trailer dropped. But a normal Star Wars fan would not be like, oh my God, that's Commander Cody. But people would recognize that helmet as oh my God, that's the clone that shot Obi-Wan down. And
it would be like the perfect parallel to that moment with Anakin where he sees the vision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Your mind.
There was like also a conversation that I had with another friend of the pod, Fern, who is one of the hosts of Star Wars English class. Listen to that podcast. But we were talking about, or rather, Fern sent me their like thoughts about the parallels Cody and Obi-Wan could have had too, if Cody had been in the Obi-Wan show, of, both of them dealing with their own like versions of like guilt. Obi-Wan, feeling guilty about Anakin and just and Padme and all of that, and Cody feeling guilty about, almost killing Obi-Wan. Cody would have had like this whole like storyline of maybe, like, yeah, I did that, but like there's other clones who might have been like stronger to like not go against the order of like Order 66. Like Rex, for instance, you see him struggle with that and is able to, well, with the help of Ahsoka, like break free of that. But the fact that Cody didn't at all hesitate, maybe he might have had like problems with that later on, with the guilt of being like, was I just like not a good enough person where I didn't even like question or fight against trying to kill my bestie, my boyfriend, Obi-Wan Kenobi? And I'm still thinking about how they could have drawn those parallels of two boyfriends feeling guilty and feeling bad about things, but like learning to overcome their own like problems, with Obi-Wan going off being like, I gotta go help Leia, and then maybe Cody realizing his own stuff while helping out Luke on Tatooine. I don't know.
I would have loved the parallels of Cody being like Luke's lethal protector in the midst of like this plotline. That would have been adorable. I will say, one of the funniest interpretations of like Cody doesn't really seem to like visibly resist Order 66 is like they were just in a fight. They were in a bad place, and Palpatine's like, execute order. He's like, done. I'm on it. Like we're in a bad place right now. He's annoying the fuck out of me.
He keeps losing his lightsaber, and I keep having to find it. Like, what the hell?
We haven't gone to dinner in weeks. Like, I'm so upset. Like, but I do on a more real note, like, I really do want to see him grapple with that, because like one of the only clones we really see like during, like before, during, and after Order 66 that like has to live with the reality of it is like Rex. Like we watch him go through it. But my one hope for the Bad Batch amidst the sea of flop that is the Bad Batch season 2 is the idea that Cody will have a moment where he gets to sort of reconcile and be like, did I like majorly fuck up one of the people in my life that I cared the most about? And like, what were the consequences of that? Because at present, I don't think we've really seen that. I know we haven't seen that from him, like for certain. And like, I would love to see him sort of like dealing with the emotional consequences, or also interestingly, not doing that, being like, well, whatever. And everyone's like, what do you mean, whatever? Like, you shot your boyfriend off of a cliff. Like, he was on a lizard and you blew him up. Like,
oh God.
But I'm also like, I need someone to tell him that Obi-Wan, like the people in Star Wars who are like, I'm sad Obi-Wan's gone. I'm like, he's not. Like, we all know he's not. Like, please, I'm begging one person to be like, oh, he's fine. Like, anybody, I'm begging you at this point.
I just had a really awful thought. Not that it's going to happen, because, you know, Star Wars doesn't like me, but the Bad Batch season 2 opening with a animated reimagining of the scene where he shoots Obi-Wan down. That's how it opens, and then we get to the Bad Batch and everyone's like, oh my God, just to call back to Revenge of the Sith. And everyone who knows who Cody is and knows that he and Obi-Wan had a illicit affair during the Clone Wars is just like, oh my God, this is the tone of the season. Jennifer Corbett, if you really cared about gay people, you would put that in, but okay.
When you said illicit affair, I was like, oh my God, love a folklore mention. Exciting.
But to talk about
is Cody a Swiftie?
Cody is a Swiftie, definitely.
1,000%. And I know for a fact that he loves August. That is his favorite track on folklore.
Yes, as he should. August is amazing. August
I said
is
what I said.
Mwah.
Okay, I think I believe in lover stan Cody, but
so true.
Okay.
Okay, and can we be honest? Can someone just transliterate the lyrics of Cruel Summer to Cody one if you have the time?
Oh my God.
Would anyone like to do that?
Speaking of the Bad Batch, like in the trailer, or at least the longer trailer that was shown at Celebration, that lives in my head rent-free, because, you know, when I saw it happen, I was screaming, crying. I didn't throw up, luckily. The lady sitting next to me was definitely looking at me like I was crazy, because like all it took was like Crosshair saying Commander Cody, and I'm like weeping, which, by the way, Cody did have like apparently the second biggest applause at Celebration after Hayden Christensen appearing on stage. That's according to other people who actually got to see that.
Winning.
And that's how you know that Celebration was full of gay people.
Yeah. It was for the girls, gays, and theys. That's who Celebration was for.
So true.
Absolutely.
But yeah, Cody in that trailer, it does seem like he was having like a moment where it's just like, is what we're doing like really the right thing? You know, like a fun little Hauser moment. I know all you girlies out there love Hauser too. So give some respect to Cody, because I feel like he might go down the same path of like, is this the right thing? And Crosshair was being like, good soldiers follow orders. So there's that going for Cody, which now has me worried, because I'm just like, Cody, please be safe. Crosshair is not in his right mind and could freaking get your ass. But if Hauser made it out of there alive, I am going to hold on to my little small sliver of hope that Cody will also be safe.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is that, like, okay, so in Revenge of the Sith, Cody's just like, yeah, nobody could have survived that fall. obviously he knows Obi-Wan could have survived the fall. I'm like, this man had plausible deniability, right? Other clones, like, because, okay, if I remember correctly, Rex was unhelmeted, right? So we actually got to see, like, the individual beneath. Cody and most of the other clones were helmeted. But then there's a difference between, like, Cody and Bly. My poor little Blyla heart, I am breaking. Bly wouldn't have had the plausible deniability that Cody would have had. So Bly actually had to make sure that the job was done. Cody was just like, just shoot him. And it's just like, oh, he fell. Okay, he's dead. Oh. Right? He could walk away from that without repercussions, right? And I'm like, it hurts because there was like 3 types of like different like levels of what the clones could do with that. Because it's like the unhelmeted ones were still basically individuals because we could see their faces. And the others didn't really have that luxury, but then there were 2 sets of like plausible deniability or not, right? I mean, that just hurts me.
No, I get what you're saying there. Like, yeah, we didn't see if Cody was like actually like struggling in that moment, and maybe he like did realize, because it's just like, oh, like I know Obi-Wan Kenobi. This man definitely could have lived through that, and maybe in that brief moment, him being like, you know what? Yeah, he's dead, guys. He definitely didn't make it out of there. Let's just leave it at that. Let's not go after Obi-Wan Kenobi anymore.
Don't search down there. It's fine. It's fine.
And how they hit, like, I think it was like the rock beneath Obi-Wan and Boga. You know that they could have like actually sniped Boga and Obi-Wan if they really wanted to, right? But they missed. And I'm like, y'all have been fighting in this war for what, 3 years now? And you're professionally like bred for war. Doesn't add up.
To be fair to them, it's so hard to see in those helmets because I have Cody helmet.
True.
It's so hard to fucking see out of that.
I tried on. I went to see Iliad a little bit ago, and I tried on their Captain Rex helmet, and can confirm it's fully like being blind. Like there's like a blue visor that's like at your eyebrows, and you're like, right, this is fine. I'm doing great, you guys. Like, at least with Mandalorian helmets, they have so much visibility. The clone helmets, they said, what if you didn't want to see anymore? What if you wanted to just like sort of feel your way through a war? Like, wouldn't that be fun and entertaining?
They just use the Force.
I like that whenever Obi-Wan and Cody get into a fight, Cody just puts his helmet on so he doesn't have to see Obi-Wan.
You know that meme where it's just like the Grinch, and I forget what other like Doctor Who character where it's just like, I like you a lot better with my glasses off, sir. And then the Grinch being like, you put those glasses back on and you face the facts. And just Cody being like, I like you a lot better with my helmet on. And Obi-Wan being like, you take that helmet off and you face the facts, Cody.
Like them in an argument, and Obi-Wan's like, are you even listening? Cody's like, I am paying so close attention right now. And like his helmet is on and his eyes are closed. He's like, I'm so involved in the conversation. I'm really hearing you. And he's like, I don't know where we are. I don't know what's happening. I've been asleep for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is canon. I might have read it in fan fiction, but I'm pretty sure that the clones could mute their helmets so they couldn't hear anything.
Cody just muting Obi-Wan and playing freaking folklore.
I just love the I've seen enough, I've heard enough, and then they just like mute and put their helmets on and just mute it. And they're like, I'm done here.
Not a portable sensory deprivation chamber.
And he only uses it in arguments with Obi-Wan. Like they're fighting and he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. He clicks the button. He's like, you want to meet me right now? I can still see you. Like he just stands still.
Oh, 100%.
Who do we ship Cody with in the High Republic era?
He saw Stellan thinking, he's like, wait, is that Obi-Wan? And he's just like, wait, no. This is not Obi-Wan.
I'm gonna say
Cody would treat Stellan right. I'm sorry to Elzar, but Elzar, like,
I'm not sorry to Elzar. I'm not sorry to Elzar.
I apologize for that.
Doesn't deserve Stellan sometimes. Like, you saw how he was treating Stellan in the Fallen Star. Just like, bro, Elzar, Stellan is obviously in love with you, and you're over here being like, damn, I miss Avar, which like that's fair because Avar Chris, she's very Yasin Slay, and I love her too, but like,
may I propose Commander Cody and Kantam Sy?
Yes.
Oh my god, so true.
Yes.
You're right. Kantam Kantam would treat Cody the way Cody deserves to be
Yes.
treated.
Exactly.
The two of
They would
them.
be the ideal partner for Cody, I think. Also because I
Yeah.
think what Cody requires is emotional stability.
Yeah.
Because Cody's
Yeah.
like, no, I'm so stable. Okay, has anyone in here watched Fleabag?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, anyway, there's a character in there named Claire, and I think that Cody's a lot very similar insofar as like Cody's like, I'm fine all the time. I'm actually
You're
so
so
great.
right.
It takes real work to be this happy. And then like the second the door closes, sobbing, crying on the ground. Like I know that to be true. So I'm just saying that perhaps Kantam Sy could remedy that because Kantam's like, I am very stable. And Cody's like, what is that like? Like, how would you do that? If you had to
Cody
guess?
freaking Cody like putting the helmet on, being like, yeah, I'm fine, and then crying in the helmet, and Kantam's just like, it's okay, you don't have to put the helmet on.
visible tears coming like out of the neckline of the helmet.
Just the
And Kantam's
one,
like,
just the
are
one
you
tear.
okay? Like, what are you wearing?
I do think that Cody, much like he is a queer elder for Luke, he would also be a queer elder for Kitrup and Jom, because my sweet little gay boys from Rising Storm deserve all the love. Yeah, he'd be like, Kip, you don't need to pretend that, you don't need to hide who you are. You can just be your fabulous self.
Be who you are.
Yeah, and that's how we kick off Pride Month in the Republic.
Not be who you are, Commander
Cody's
Cody.
the one who introduces. He's like, we should have a pride, and they're just like, what are you talking about? Like, we are already like there's a bunch of gay people here. Like, what are you talking about? We don't have to have a pride. That's just
I
every
do
day for
think-
us.
I just had the thought though that I think that Reath Silas would meet Cody and he'd be like a cool uncle, like kind of thing. Like he'd
You know
be
what?
like, no, Cody is so cool. Like you guys, he's like he can use a gun. I don't know how to
Reath
use one of those,
have-
but like it's really cool.
Now I'm thinking like Reath like being like, oh yeah, I just really admire Commander Cody, and Belle being like, do you have like a hero crush on Commander Cody?
I do think that Cody would meet Reath Silas, and Reath would be like, oh yeah, like I'm really into women, and Cody would be like, oh honey, no.
Cody,
No,
for
no,
the record,
I know
Silas
what you are,
was like, no, literally, no. Cody walks up and he's like, who is that little gay boy in the robes? He's wonderful, but like, does he know? Does anyone know?
Just like he
obviously-
doesn't know
this is-
yet.
this
It's
is
okay.
This is post Cohmac going full Twilight and sprinting into the woods. R.I.P. Now I'm just thinking about the concept of Cohmac joining the Cullen family.
No, stop.
Why not? I mean,
I know what you
No.
are.
We can't
Say
do
it.
this.
Oh.
Stop. Oh my god.
No, we can't do
can't
this. We're
lie.
talking about Cody.
Guys, Cohmac Vitus joined the Cullen family. What do we do about that? Anyway, remember Commander Cody, the character we're here to talk about today?
Yeah.
I say that like I'm not the person getting us deeply off track, as
Last,
usual.
right.
last thing about Cody and the High Republic, I do think that after Cohmac does join the Cullen family, Cody is the one who sets up Belle and Reath.
So
no, you're
true.
right. You're right. You're
So
right.
true.
I think what we've learned here today is that every single Star Wars character that has ever existed needs to just go to the High Republic, and everything
Yeah.
would be better.
Yeah, the ones who are there can just stay there.
I
Like
was just-
Yoda,
No,
stay
you see,
there.
that's actually
You're
the real reason
supreme.
Cody got lost. He saw Yoda, and he's just like, "Oh, I know that little green fuck." And he's just like, and then he's just like, "Oh wait, this is not the right time period."
He's just like, they're wearing. What are they wearing?
These robes are more Yasin Slay. I do not remember my Jedi like being this Yasin Slay.
No, this is literally Cody's Umbrella Academy era. Like that's what's happening to him. He just keeps getting time traveled around.
Cody is 5.
Not Cody is fine.
Jess, I'm gonna need you to stop right there. I'm gonna need you. I literally had a conversation last night with Jess about. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop talking now. Do we want to get into some Cody lore? Some
Yeah,
Canon
some
timeline,
Cody
yeah.
lore. So, how much do y'all know about like Cody in like canon or legends?
So I actually know nothing about him in Legends. I would love to be enlightened on that because in my usual sense, I refuse to do research. So I know about him, like where I've seen him in the canon, but I didn't really know he even like had a presence in Legends, to be honest.
I know that A, he is a legend, and B, that I've been in love with him since I first saw him in Revenge of the Sith. And honestly, looking back, that was probably when I realized I was queer. So
Extremely
I'm just
on
like
brand.
8, you know. So yeah, that's basically it.
Because I am a Legends anti, I don't know anything about Cody and Legends. Sorry to out myself on the podcast. I don't care for Legends. If you do, that's totally cool. Yeah, go you. Be who you are. Not me, though. I do know about Cody in canon, however. Commander Cody is the Marshal Commander of the 212th Attack Battalion, which is Obi-Wan's battalion, which is also a part of the 7th Sky Corps, which contains 36,864 clone troopers. So in all, Cody is a girl boss because he does he's in charge of a lot. And so when people say Cody's boring, he follows the rules too much, he's not like Rex, I'm like, yeah, but he's busy.
Cody is literally like taking charge of like what could possibly be the population of a town.
Exactly. He's a busy guy. So yeah. Beyond that, he is Obi-Wan's boyfriend. I guess that's in Legends. So maybe I'm not Legends anti, but it's only a matter of time. I mean, the Bad Batch comes out later this summer.
That's canon, though. I'm pretty sure that's canon. If we all say that it's canon, then I think it's canon.
So Cody 1 is canon in the same canon timeline where Trilla actually is fine after Fallen Order. They are the same one. This is also the one where I almost said Triva, which close enough, but like Trilla is actually in the Obi-Wan show. She's just always like out of frame because she's fine. Yeah. And that's the same timeline where Cody 1 is canon and everything's great. Yeah.
I was so afraid you were going to say something like in the same lines of how Quizzy just being a skinny icon. So Trilla is just always turned to her side. And she's also
Trilla is such a skinny icon that when she's turned to the side, she disappears. So she was just there the entire show.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where I thought you were going with that first second, but luckily you didn't.
No, she's just always like standing like just outside of frame. And she's always like, does anyone need anything? Like, are you guys good? And they're like, yeah, thank you.
But it's like, this is Star Wars. And even if I see a body, I don't think that character is dead. Right? Now, like if it's a Jedi and I see a Force ghost, I'm like, okay, obviously like you've died. But until I see a body, and I mean like actually like seeing a body get burned, I'm like, you're alive, right? Because I don't trust after what happened with Maul. I'm like, I just don't trust it. So even if like the end of JFO, I'm like, Trilla's still alive. Like I didn't see no body, no crime, right? Like
exactly.
She's
And
fine.
This will also be me if anything were to happen to Cody. I'm just like, no, that's not real. I'm sorry. But getting back to Legends, I guess, disclaimer, I only know this stuff from spending numerous hours on Commander Cody's canon and Legends Wikipedias one night when I was prepping for this. But according to like Wikipedia and what happens in Legends, this probably is actually part of like some of like Karen Travis's works, which also that's another reason why I don't care much about some of the Legend stuff. If it's written by Karen Travis specifically, I'm like,
I'm a Karen Travis anti.
Yes,
actually, I have read a Legends novel. It's called the 2008 Clone Wars novelization. Don't read
true. But in that, Cody starts working for the Empire, which we'll see in the Bad Batch, because that's also happening there too. Because, what else are the clones really gonna do after Order 66? They don't got anything else to do. But yeah, he starts working for the Empire. He is one of the people training the new stormtroopers. So basically Crosshair has stolen his job in canon. And he goes back to Kamino, I think, if I remember right. Yeah, he is training new stormtroopers on another city on Kamino, which I'm forgetting the name, Tamira City. And like Cody's kind of like seems like he's depressed because it's just like things aren't like what they used to be. And also like doesn't seem like the stormtroopers like Cody very much either. So that's kind of like sad. Hate that for Legends Cody.
Homophobic of them.
Yeah, I think the stormtroopers think like Cody's like too like strict, and I'm just like, leave him alone. He's just He's just a guy going through like problems. He had to kill his boyfriend, but he didn't actually kill his boyfriend. He doesn't even know his boyfriend is alive in this timeline. Oh, the Legends timeline.
If no one has anything left to say about Legends, real quick, let's jump back into canon. The first like chronological thing that we see, other than I think the Clone Wars movie, he's not in it much, but the scenes that he is in, he's literally like roundhouse kicking droids in the face. And who says he's not Slay? I'm sorry, we have problems. But the next chronological appearance that he's in is in the Battle of Christophsis episodes, which take place before the Clone Wars movie, I believe, actually.
Yeah.
But in like season 3 of the Clone Wars, like it is interesting. However,
it's always weird how like the first couple seasons of Clone Wars was like weirdly out of order. They're just like, let's just talk about these certain stories, which is just like, why couldn't you have done it in chronological order, besties? Dave Filoni, what were you thinking?
I mean, it is pretty on brand for Star Wars, to be fair.
Yeah, so true. But in that arc, it's the arc where Ventress is there too and flirts with Obi-Wan. I just think that was probably a rough day for Cody. Really having this like drop dead gorgeous woman just be flirting with your boyfriend is always going to be
Cody's rough day.
We have to stop. We can't.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring up Timothy Zahn's award-winning novel Rough Day about, Thrawn and Eli Vanto. We're talking about Cody.
Are we ever going to escape the clutches and the shackles of Rough Day as a piece of work? Like, are we ever going to?
Unfortunately, not.
It would not be an episode of this podcast.
More of a monumental piece of Star Wars media than most Star Wars media is.
And I would agree with that. I would honestly like the Iliad is so flop in comparison. Like few works of Western literature really match up.
But Cody and
Ventress Commander Cody.
Yeah.
In that arc, we see Rex and Cody really teaming up. They go after the clone Slick, who has teamed up with Ventress. And this is where we see Cody shine. He has tactical brilliance. He is a girl boss at his core. And we see this more throughout the Clone Wars as well. In my favorite Clone Wars arc, the Ryloth arc, where they meet Numa. He's also in that one. That one, I think that there was something going on between him and Obi-Wan, because they were a little bit distant. Except for the scene where it's like a blink and you miss it. Cody does like give a little side eye to Obi-Wan. It's like a sexy side eye though. Like it's something that you very much need to watch over and over again until it's ingrained into your brain.
Now I gotta go back and watch the Ryloth. I'm like trying to think what other arcs was Cody in the Clone Wars.
Oh my gosh. Is it time to talk about my favorite Clone Wars arc of all time, actually? The Geonosis arc?
I'm so ready.
Because really, it starts out with just perfection. Cody and Obi-Wan are conversing as they are walking towards the gunships. And Obi-Wan asks Cody, like, oh, were you at Geonosis like the first time? And Cody says no, he wasn't. And then Obi-Wan is like, oh, well, you didn't miss much. Like I was chained to a pole and fed to like large monsters. And
oh yeah, that scene.
And Cody's just like, that sounds entertaining. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, Cody?
It was very gay of him to say that. He was also in the Domino Squad arc. Like Rookies, one of my favorite episodes. Oh,
I'm sorry,
Cody.
like the fruit alarms were going off when Cody was like, that's not entertaining. And it's like, no, elaborate for a second, please. Don't be shy. What do you mean entertaining? I would love to know more about that. Like,
was it entertaining?
I'm sure
in the way that,
Cody wants to know about that too. That's why he said it.
But I'm like, y'all did not write that for no reason. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I like hear things like straight people write, and I'm like, there's no way you don't realize what you just said, right? Like, come on. Be honest.
Just
homoeroticism.
Ron 2017.
Oh yeah, it's like just the inherent homoeroticism of being in a war with your bros.
It is very Thrawn 2017 core. Like this is not this is not need to be in the podcast. However, when I read Thrawn 2017, I was texting the RuPaul's group chat live updates of me reading it. And I got to the point where Thrawn is like, you hold my words in your hands. And I'm like, y'all are gay. Y'all are like Pride and Prejudice level gay. Like, what are you doing? He's
No, exactly.
gonna be like, you may only call me Lizzie when you're deeply in love with me. Like, but I'm like,
and this is no,
but like that's Cody and Obi-Wan core. I think it very much is that like I just care about you, and I'm like, no,
and this is why Timothy Zahn needs to write the 212th Attack Battalion novel.
Exactly,
because if he can do anything, it's write accidental gay men.
And Timothy Zahn, if you're listening now, get started.
Yeah.
Editor Tom, I know you listen to our podcast sometimes. If you're listening to this, Editor Tom, can you talk to Timmy about doing that?
Can you tell Timmy to do this for the gays in the audience, please?
Yes, we all want it. We need it. It's something that is a need. It's not a want. It's like oxygen or water. We need it to survive as queer Star Wars fans.
No, you're absolutely right. Continuing with the Geonosis arc, I do think there is another scene after Obi-Wan's like gunship goes down, and then everyone's like, "Oh, what's going on?" And Cody is like there. He's literally in the middle of a battle. He's getting shot at, and his first priority is finding Obi-Wan. And yes, you could be like, oh, well, that's because he's literally a Jedi and the general of his battalion. But like, let's be realistic here. It's because they're in love.
We know better.
Mm-hmm. We know better as people who can consume media critically that is exactly what they meant by putting that in there.
It was intentional. It was just like, it was necessary. And I feel like not enough people are talking about it in like a real academic way, like with analysis. Like it's very that. To be fair, I'm enamored with Commander Cody as a character because like he really doesn't have like a huge amount of like solo moments. Like we see a lot, like Rex, for example, and Fives like both have like a lot more screen time to like personally develop. So I'm very interested. I'm always wondering, I'm like, why are the gays like white knuckled to this man? Like I don't have an answer, but I'm just like, I find it funny. I feel like few other like characters in, especially like in the Clone Wars, where there's like a lot of characters get this like fan treatment of like, I will die for him. And it's like, right. But like, why? And it's like, I don't know, but I will. If asked, if it came down to it, I would do that.
Yeah, like I know that the clones like have such a massive like love, like the clones get all the love from the queer Star Wars fans, but it's Cody specifically that I noticed the most, and I'm like, you know what, he deserves it. Yas Queen, slay, 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 because you know he's Cody. He deserves every little bit of love and more screen time. Seriously, give us more screen time, Star Wars. He needs it. He deserves it.
Lucasfilm, I'm outside of your studio right now, demanding the Commander Cody content.
Lucasfilm, I'm in your walls. Let's get into it.
This is gonna get your ass, Lucasfilm.
For legal reasons, so this is a joke.
For legal reasons, this is all a joke.
I think there is something about a story about a character in particular who is like very visibly close to another character, and then like, yes, in this scenario in Star Wars, he like shoots him down. But I also think that there's something to be said about like, oh, if you know they're so close and he was not able to live out the rest of his life, whatever that looked like with Obi-Wan, it's very queer. It is very queer. And I think why people attach more to Cody, like, you know, even if it's subconsciously, is because we don't have a lot of screen time. You can project any kind of scenario onto him that molds around what we do know about him, which is that he is very loyal and that he is very close to Obi-Wan. And so when you view that, it's going to be like, oh, well, why is that? Whereas a character like Rex or Fives, like we were saying, has a lot of screen time and we know more about them. And so, yes, Rex did shoot at Ahsoka, but we know so much about their relationship that there's nothing to even like project onto that. You know, we know so much, it's so concrete because they get so much screen time. And so it's like, oh, here's a character that I see queer qualities in and that I can relate to. And so, you know, it's that. And so it's also when I think people like very much hate on Commander Cody for literally no reason. And then everyone's like, oh, that's interesting, like he's gay. And it's like, no, it's so much more than that though, because don't like come for a character that a community of people who is very severely underrepresented in this franchise latches onto so much. It is giving homophobia. It is giving we don't give a fuck. Like, it's really gross.
So true.
It's a bad look. I would also say something I think about a lot, especially just like in media in general, is that whenever you have two men in a military relationship, a lot of straight writers will give them this like, I would die for you no matter what. And it's like, right. So we've actually jumped the gun a little bit and we've entered the territory of homosexuality, because men don't just say that to one another, but like you have a lot of these like military stories where it's like, oh, I'd follow you into battle. And it's like, that's a little like, it's killing fruit basket, I think, from where I'm standing. And I think that's why I also like, I find those two characters so compelling, because like Cody's loyalty, while it is an in-character trait for him to have, like just who he is and the position he's in, like Sage was saying, like, it's kind of gay though. Like, why are you as a man loyal to another man? Perhaps we can unpack that a bit. But like, I think that's part of what makes them so compelling as characters. And I think it's also why we rarely see, like, when we talk about Cody, we're often talking about like Cody and Obi-Wan, like as a collective, which is also why I'm like, I'm not saying we need a Commander Cody solo novel, but I'm just saying if someone wanted to write it, I would love it, because I feel like he deserves that like time by himself as a character and as a person. But I find it very funny that they happen to be in this like general commander relationship that more often than not ends up becoming queer coded on its own, like without the writers intentionally doing that.
I feel like you can argue that on his own, Cody is also kind of queer coded. Like, not, I said I would do this, but not to bring Supernatural into this, but like,
we didn't have Claudia and Ollie, so someone had to do it.
Yeah, I had to do it. I apologize again. I'm just a menace to this, huh? I think a lot about with that show is like this dichotomy of like what the show wants to be and what it actually is like kind of a fundamentally queer idea. Like that's kind of what camp is. And I think that Cody as a character is like, he comes off as this like very, like people think he's like a rules guy, like super vigilant, all that stuff. But when you see him in action, like again, he's like roundhouse kicking droids. Like he punches Grievous in the face. He's not that person. And that dichotomy itself is like, that feels queer to me.
I think like Noah was saying about this whole like, oh, they're so like, oh, I would die for you, all this stuff. In media, I'm not saying in real life, I'm saying in media, if that dynamic was between a man and a woman, they would
everyone would be like, that is a romantic couple.
Exactly.
Thank you for saying that, because it is absolutely true.
Nobody would question it. You wouldn't have people being like, oh, can't they just be like a male character and a female character without you pushing like a romantic? No, they would be like, yeah, they're totally gonna end up together. They're endgame. Yeah, you're right.
Do we want to move on to like some Q&A like type questions?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so like this first one is I think Sage briefly like got into her before, or was it Noah? Someone, I'm forgetting, I'm sorry. But just like, why do you personally like Commander Cody?
I mean, I'll go first. He's just a funky little guy. Like, I feel like with all my Glup Shittos, it's like, I just like him. Not much more complicated than that. Like so I do think that like I talked about before, there's something to him. There's definitely substance. Like people who say he's boring, they are wrong. But at the end of the day, he's a funky little guy who I love very much.
I would say my answer is deeply similar. Like, I like him because I like who he is in the story. I think he's like a cool character, but like overall, if it's like, why do I enjoy like reading things about him or like engaging with content about him? I just think he's fun. I think he's very slay. I like the relationship he has to a lot of my other favorite characters. Like I like his interactions, but I don't really have like a set of specific reasons. I think like of the clones, he and Rex are probably my favorite just because they're very interesting to me, and I like their dynamics with other characters in a way that is not always there with some of the other clones. But like, yeah, I think that's probably it. Like, I think Ella put it best. He's just a funky little guy, and I enjoy him for that reason.
I also think that he's a funky little guy, but on like a deeper level, I like Cody because unlike most of the other clones that are named and get like a personality on the shows and in the media, who are very like, oh, I'm not like other clones, you know, like Rex is very much like, love Rex, not slandering him at all, but how the show portrays him is very much, oh, I'm not like other clones, like I take risks and I do this, even though he doesn't necessarily start off that way. It definitely is his arc. And like same with fives, obviously fives, but like other, like, you know, yes, I'm very much blonde, like I'm blonde, bitch. Like, anyways, it's very much like that, Jess. But I think that Cody is like the clones, how they were made was like, oh, I'm here to follow orders and I'm here to be like a loyal soldier and blah, blah, blah. And yes, Rex is like that. Yes, Fives is like that for the most part. But Cody really just like has this loyalty to the Republic and to doing the right thing. Yes, he goes out, like, doesn't always follow directions. Obi-Wan is his general. Like, he, you know, that's the example that is being set. But I do think that there is a part in Dark Disciple, spoilers for Dark Disciple, Quinlan Vos has turned to the dark side and breaks both of Commander Cody's legs. I maybe Christy Golden, why would you put that in there? That was personally an attack on me. But the first thing that Cody does is Obi-Wan asks him if he's okay. And the first thing Cody does is tell him the direction that Quinlan Vos went. And it's like, okay, I like Obi-Wan just asked you if you're good, like if you're like alive, because he's worried about you. And the first thing you do is you put like that duty that, you know, he is in charge of so many troopers, over 36,000 troopers. He knows his place in the war, in the chain of command, and he is so loyal to that he will do anything for that. But he also has heart. We can see that when he literally, like I said earlier when we were talking about the Geonosis arc, is looking for Obi-Wan above all else. So we know that he is not just some like slave to the Republic like some people on TikTok say he is. He has a personality and a heart, and he loves very deeply, but he also has a loyalty to the Republic and to doing the right thing. So that's my little deep, like, this is why I love Commander Cody so much, but also, yeah, he's just a little gay guy. So, yeah.
Yeah, to echo everybody else, yes, Cody is just a little guy. He's an absolute darling. And basically, yeah, everything that you said, Sage, as well, just because I remember when I was reading that part in Dark Disciple, I was just like, oh my God, Cody, are you okay? No, we're asking you if you're okay. And like, it hurt because, you know, at the same time, like, I think he knew that, you know, hey, if I tell him that I'm in pain or that I need like help right now, that's going to become his number one priority. Like, Cody is very much one of those leaders and one of those soldiers who's just like, hey, yeah, I may not be doing okay right now, but I can put that on hold because what's going on is super important. And, you know, that's just something that I see in like a lot of my friends. And like I mentioned earlier, I've loved this clone man since I was 8 years old, 2005 when I first saw Revenge of the Sith. And just at that time, like I was going through, not to get like super personal, but I was going through a time, trademarked. Like it was a lot for me. And so I didn't really feel like I had, you know, a real sense of who I was. Who, like, did I really have a personality? Did I really have a voice? Was I just another kid? And, you know, basically one of the only clones get named. He's like, well, I think one of the only ones we see without his helmet on, and he's having like just a little bit of back and forth banter with my favorite Jedi. And I'm like that really gave me perspective. Like, holy shit, there's how many clones, and you know, there's how many kids in this world, right? I matter because Cody matters, you know? And then, you know, coming out 4 years later was a lot. But again, I felt security in that like closeness, because I was like, hey, I matter because this character, who is literally just basically treated by most of the Republic as just another face, as just another clone, because he matters, right? It's just, yeah, that's why I love Cody.
That was beautiful.
Some of y'all have really good reasons for liking Cody, and then I think maybe a few of you might know my Cody backstory. My personal like reason why I like Cody is, you know, I'm a newer Star Wars fan. I didn't really get into Star Wars until like the end of like 2020, you know, when Mando season 2 was like coming out. I'd like seen the sequels and like Mando season 1, and then decided let's like watch all the movies. That I'd briefly seen some of like the other movies before, but like hadn't really like cared much about what was going on. And then I started being on Star Wars TikTok, and there was one of those audios that just like, you know, my name, my age, my favorite Sith Lord. And when it got to like favorite clone, I was like, I haven't seen the Clone Wars, because at this point in my life, I was afraid to watch the Clone Wars because I knew people were like, oh, the Clone Wars made me like Anakin Skywalker, and I was like, I cannot go down that road right now. So I was really afraid, and I was avoiding watching the Clone Wars. And then I was just like, I don't know any of the clones, but I want to do this like audio. I was just like, wait, what was that one clone in Revenge of the Sith? The one who was hanging out with my bestie, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I was like, Cody? Yeah, sure. He seems cool. He's friends with Obi-Wan. I know he tried to shoot him, but he's a cool guy. So I picked Cody. And then after that, I kept like seeing people being like, if Cody is your favorite clone, you know, then you're boring, or, you know, you don't really have like taste. And I was just like, obviously, I was like, I take this as a personal offense. I was like, I don't know anything about this man, but now I am ride or die for him. But then I did watch the Clone Wars and stuff, and I was just like, actually, yeah, I think I picked I picked well, because he seems very Yasin Slay, and though, yeah, he like we talked about briefly earlier, he has like, maybe because like he doesn't have like a real like set personality like Rex or Fives or like the Bad Batch. Like he has potential, I feel, to be something great. And maybe I just projecting onto Cody also. But I was like, yeah, this is my funky little guy now, and I am ride or die for him. And if you insult Commander Cody, I take that as a personal offense, and I will I'm in your walls already, and we're gonna have some problems again for legal reasons. That is a joke.
Yeah, the Bad Batch does have the potential to make Cody this amazing character, an amazing dynamic and multiple dimensional character, or it could completely ruin him.
I'm so afraid.
I'm so afraid of like the echoification of Commander Cody.
No.
And I'm so
At least he has his melanin. I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut that out.
Please.
No, don't cut that out, because you're completely
You're
right.
correct.
You're saying what we're all thinking.
Yeah. Please don't whitewash Cody. Please.
Well, from the trailer, he seemed fine, unlike
thank
the rest
God.
of the Bad Batch.
So they can do it. They just
Oh,
don't.
they can. They
Yeah.
can.
They just
know
chose
how.
not to.
They just chose. Okay, sure.
Okay, so here's the next question. This is from at We Made Boats on Twitter. what are the hypotheses on how Cody got the scar on his temple? Like, I'm not sure if they ever mentioned that in anywhere in canon. How do you guys think Cody got the scar on the side of his face?
He was peeling garlic or something. He was making Obi-Wan dinner. That's just a kitchen mishap.
This is why you have sharp knives, kids. Like, blunt knives are actually what causes most kitchen injuries, knife-related
100%.
injuries. I know this because I went to culinary school.
Okay. No, seriously, that's my favorite. Actually, that's my favorite little piece of Jess lore is that they went to culinary school. I also think it's a kitchen mishap. I don't know what angle you'd have to do this at for it to create a scar in like that shape. But I feel like he was just like making like a bagel with cream cheese, and he was like, all the butter knives are dirty right now, so I'm gonna use like a steak knife, and then he just like slipped really bad.
No,
You know what it is? It kind of is in the shape of an ice cream scoop.
No, because you're so right. No, because he's like, it was like really solid ice cream. He like it's like slammed upward just right across the board, and Obi-Wan just hears him like scream in the kitchen, and he's like, "What the fuck did you do?" And he's like bleeding profusely, and he's like, "Oh, it's fine. We don't need to go to the hospital. It's whatever." And he's like, "No, we do. Yeah, we do." Like immediately. The idea that like his scar in canon is like he was like a dramatic battle, and we're like, oh yeah, no, like an ice cream scoop. It was such solid ice cream, but just like straight through the forehead. Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, I feel like it was something that like it just happened while he was doing his clone training, and he was like, I'm never gonna fall and bash my head off of a rifle ever again. Also, speaking as someone who has done that, it hurts. I'm lucky it did not scar. It was traumatizing enough. I've also closed my hand in like the part where you put the pellet in. It's a lot. Yeah, so it was a training thing, but also could have been a kitchen thing.
I'm liking all of this. I do think that a possibility could be after Cody's first sleepover with Obi-Wan, he like wakes up in the morning and like checks out Obi-Wan's lightsaber and is like, whoa, this is cool, and like accidentally turns it on and it like grazes the side of his face. I really like that.
These are all very good. I honestly didn't think about like how would he have gotten that scar. It probably I think he was hanging out with Rex on like a mission, and the two of them were goofing off. You know how like in the one of the rookie arcs like about the Domino Squad, like the one where we lose Heavy, unfortunately, and most of the rest of the Domino Squad except Echo and Five.
Rest in peace, Heavy.
But like, you know when Rex has the little droid head, like something like that, where maybe Cody and Rex were messing around with little droid head, and it went off and blasted or like hit Cody in the face, and it's just like, oh shit, I'm so sorry, Cody, and Cody being like, it's okay, Rex. Do I at least have a cool scar or something now? He's like, yeah, don't worry, bro. You look so cool. Okay, the next question was again from We Made Boats on Twitter. Does anyone think Cody has hidden tattoos?
Tramp stamp. I rest my case.
What kind of tramp stamp?
A butterfly.
A butterfly tramp stamp?
Yeah, you were gonna say that.
I mean, I'm not kidding. I'm kidding like a little bit. I do think he would have tattoos. I think he would also be that person that he's like, as long as you can cover it with your business clothes, it's fine. So like, he's like, it's not visible when he's in his blacks, but I think he'd be a chest tattoo guy. I don't know about arms, but I think he'd have a chest piece. I do stand by my tramp stamp theory though. I don't know what it says, but I know it also involves writing of some kind. Yeah. Okay.
I do think that he has like 212 tattooed somewhere. Where it is, I can't tell you. I want to say ankle tattoo.
No, 212 is the tramp stamp. Yeah.
And like, I don't know. Okay, maybe this one's the ankle tat. Just the letter K and like the fanciest Arabesh that you could fucking have. And people are like, what is that for? And he's like, but really it's for Kenobi.
He could like, because there's that headcanon about like, even though the clones never like speak in Mandoa or that we know of, but the headcanon about like Cody actually like his actual name was Kote, which is the Mandoa word for glory, and he could just pass it off and being like, K for Kote, but then he's just like, no, it's K for Kenobi.
Yes, that's it. Perfect. Yeah.
I'm going to take it up a step further. He has a portrait of Obi-Wan on his shoulder. However, it's horribly done. Like, it's bad. It's not good. So he has it under the blacks. Like, he does not show it to anyone. He's horribly embarrassed.
No, he gets home and he's like, babe, I got a tattoo of you. Do you like it? And Obi-Wan's like, holy shit.
I like the idea that like one of the other clones is the one who gave him the tattoo when they're like super drunk out of their minds at like 79s, right? And then he's just like, oh my god, babe, I got the sickest tattoo of you. And Obi-Wan's just like, is that supposed to be me?
Yeah, Obi-Wan's like, do you think I look like that? Like, genuine question, not trying to be an ass about it. But no, and then like Cody has to get it covered with like an actual, like a nice shoulder piece. And then everyone's like, wow, that's a cool tattoo. Is this like, why'd you get that? He's like, no reason. I really liked the artistry of it. Yeah, no motivation there. Thank you.
So mine is like out of pocket. I just thought of it. I really enjoy the idea of Cody having a tattoo of Shaak Ti.
Why Shaak Ti specifically?
Okay,
the MILF of all the clones.
I guess, yeah.
Because
like having a tattoo of your mom?
Yes, it's a mom tattoo. And it's on his shoulder.
And also a tattoo of Jango Fett as well. Mom and dad.
Oh my no.
Okay, no. Because I don't know about a Shaak Ti tattoo, but I know for a fact if we're going with this, Cody would have like a tattoo that's like a heart and then like a banner that says I heart mom on it or something like that. Like I know for a fact he would do that.
Okay, yes, but you still have to bring Shaak Ti into it. The heart is red. Like Shaak Ti is. And the outline of it is in gray and white stripes.
I can't.
I'm obsessed with that. And I'm just gonna put it out there. He's not the only one that has that.
Oh, definitely.
No.
There's gotta be other clones.
Him and Fives have matching tattoos.
Him and Fives.
100%.
Oh my god.
I would like to think that like every tattoo Cody has was the result of like a drunken mishap, with the exception of the K. Like that was like a deliberate decision, but like the 212 tramp stamp, except he's like, why does my back hurt so much? And they're like, funny story about that actually. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I was also gonna suggest like freaking tattoo somewhere of like Obi-Wan's lightsaber.
Okay, that I feel would be,
and then he's just like, have you seen this lightsaber? I'm looking for it. My general dropped it somewhere again, like an idiot.
Okay, no, and the thing is, like, he gets it for Obi-Wan, but he passes it off as like a photo reference. He's like, I stopped wanting to carry on like a hollow of this thing. Like, it looks like this. Have you seen it anywhere? And they're like, oh yeah, it's over there. And he's like, thank you. Like,
it's practical.
Yeah, no, he's like, and they're like, why do you have that? He's like, well, he keeps losing it, so I figured it'd be nice to have like a visual aid. If he ever gets another lightsaber, I'll just get a different one on top of it. Thanks.
I also like, the very like basic anklet tattoos that people get, just a wave. And people are like, why a wave? And he's like, well, you see, I grew up on Camino.
No, okay, also similar to that, a little one-line sun tattoo. I know for a fact he would probably have that. I also have the idea of him having like, and I mean like millennial white woman wave, like a single one. And he's like, the ocean is just like so important to me. Like, I just feel very connected to it because like I grew up on Camino, and all the clones, like everybody did. I don't know what you're going on about. Like, you're not special. He's like, you guys don't really get it. Like the sea, like she's just so different to me personally. Like you wouldn't understand. I love the idea of like bracelet girly Cody, if that makes sense. Like he's really into like beachy vibes. If I'm on a tangent now, but I'm thinking about it.
No, freaking Cody with the beach like themed like bathroom in his house.
No, literally the clamshell porcelain dish for soap. Yeah.
Canonical characters that have little wave tattoos on their ankles are Commander Cody and Elzar Mann.
So true.
That is actually true. Yes.
Ash just
Elzar
said in the chat
definitely
that
has.
Cody's on the beach from old.
Cody is not on the beach from old.
Yeah, he got off a Camino. He's fine. Crosshair, on the other hand, he's still there as far as we know. But like, it's fine.
Crosshair's on the beach from old.
Crosshair is trapped on the beach from old. Yeah,
That's where they left him at the end of Bad Batch.
I do think that Elzar Man has a wave tattoo, but not after the Fallen Star. It's a pre-Fallen Star tattoo. Because he's like, no, because come on, is Elzar Man not, we cannot do the California game again, but like, is Elzar Man not like a person who grew up outside? Well, he's from the Bay Area canonically, but he's like, I grew up by the water. Like, it means so much to me. But like, the water in question is like Bodega Bay.
I can't with this.
It's not good. I'll stop there because we'll get off on like a horrible tangent, but I'm just going to put that out there. Bodega Bay girly Elzar Man, you mean so much to me.
The next question that we have is from @Padawan's THR on Twitter. And it was, how did Cody get his name? Which, you know, canonically, again, we don't know how Cody picked his name, but there is that like fun, funky, fresh headcanon that lives in my mind rent-free about the Mandoa word Kote. And then just people fucking it up. And Cody being like, yeah, sure, fine. It's Cody. Even though in reality, it's Kote.
I don't know about like the I like the idea that it's Kote. I also like the idea that that was a name that was given to him, not necessarily chosen. And then, because like, I don't know. I feel like Cody's not the type of person to name himself the word for glory. Definitely. Like, I feel like that's something that, like, someone would be like, I think this is a trait of yours that you express. And then that's like, he carries that with him. But I do think I do think his name is Kote, and I do think that it's the Mandoa word. And I'm obsessed with the idea of him being like, well, my new name is Kote, and Rex is like, Cody, and he's like, yep, thank you.
Yeah, because I don't think the clones actually speak Mandoa, so they'd just be like, what?
I love the idea of like Cody wanted to learn Mandoa, so he did, but like nobody else did. So that he's like, yeah, this is my name. And they're like, right, okay, well, I'm 5s because my number is 5. And he's like, right, totally. They're like, why'd you pick that? And he's like, it sounded cool. No other reason. Thank you. Bye.
Cody suffers from like one of the Star Wars names that is just a basic ass name. George Lucas. I want to understand your mind sometimes, but also I'm scared of what's going on in there, George Lucas. But why did you pick the name Cody? That's so interesting. I always think about that. Like, there's so many other like cool names out there. Not that Cody isn't cool. Sorry to any Codys out there.
I love people in Star Wars with regular ass names. Shout out to my boy Dennis from Rising Storm. But like, I'm gonna go out of pocket here. They picked all their names in a raffle.
Cody getting his name via a raffle is really funny.
All the 212
that's objectively so funny.
Just picked them out, random.
They're like getting names like Waxer and Boyle and stuff, and then Cody pulls his out. He's just like, Cody?
I will contend that if that's the case, the only clone who didn't do that was 5s. Because like he got a raffle name and he was like, now let's say this name sucks. Hear me out on this. My CT number is 5555. Why didn't I just do that? And Nalase was like, sure, I'm not going to argue this with you. I don't have the energy, like whatever. I don't even care. Fine.
Yeah, I do think that the best clones had their names given to them. Like Echo, pre them stealing his melanin. Droid bait, heavy, cut up. And so I'm like, Cody has to be part of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was definitely like a gift from his brothers, which makes it extra special. I'm not getting emotional.
The next question is from our good pal @Corky Kenobi on Twitter. If you could have Cody,
why do you have to involve yourself in literally everything that I do? Get away from me. I'm just kidding. Claire, I love you so much.
Yeah, Claire's question was, if you could have Cody interact with any character from any era, who would it be and why?
I mean, I think we already decided that Cody has to just get into a very intimate relationship with either Kantam Sy or Cohmac Vitus post joining the Cullen family. So, and I'm not saying that this is like my Cody Cohmac Twilight AU, wherein Cody is Bella, but I think it'd be really funny if nothing else. Mostly just because I love the idea of Cody as portrayed by Kristen Stewart.
Cody just sitting there like depressed while it's like doing the pan around like oh.
Cody walks into a room and Cohmac's like, you smell like shit. Like this sucks.
No,
but in all seriousness, I do I think it'd be fun to see him interact with anybody in the High Republic. Just because, I mean, I don't know. That's whenever anyone's like, who would you want X to interact with? It's pretty much always the High Republic because those characters feel so distinctly separate from the rest of Star Wars. I think it'd be just interesting to see. Specifically, I think it would be really entertaining to have Cody and Torben interact. I think that'd be really funny. I can't say why. Like, I don't have like a reason. I just feel like putting them in the same room would be entertaining as all hell.
Daniel, if you're listening to this, give us what we want.
Yes.
Daniel, if you're listening, please put Commander Cody in the High Republic. We know you can.
It won't make any sense, but we'll take it as a sign.
Talk to me and
just have him like walking in the background of a shot of a comic or something, and I'll be like, oh my god, that's Commander Cody, and no one will question it. We'll just be like, there he is. Yep.
So I haven't actually seen him ever interact with Obi-Wan's beautiful family, Satine and Corky. And I think that would be really beautiful for him and for everyone else, but also everyone from the High Republic. So yeah, that is my answer.
I feel like it's the meeting of the Glup Shittos, and I think he should meet Eli Vanto.
I was gonna say Eli Vanto.
Same brain like. Yeah, no, I can't really explain why they would get along swimmingly. I just want to see it. I want to see it happen. Timothy, you have the power. Please.
So I have two. The first one is Trilla Siduri. I think that if Commander Cody and Trilla, specifically Purge Trooper Commander Cody, because Purge Troopers and Inquisitors, shut up. The parallels there that we could draw between them, I would scream and cry. Also, I think that they would just be phenomenal together. That dynamic. My second one is Chopper. There's a scene in the Kadavo arc of the Clone Wars where Cody like kneels down to talk to R2-D2.
Oh yeah, that
I literally, it's ingrained into my brain. I'm gonna get it tattooed onto the inside of my brain tissue. However, if I was there to witness Commander Cody talking to Chopper, I think that nobody would ever be able to get a coherent sentence out of me ever again. Not only because I'm obsessed with Chopper, but also because Chopper is a Clone Wars veteran. He did fight in the Clone Wars. And so I think that like old time war talk between Cody and Chopper, like at a bar during Rebels, it's something that I have to write fan fiction about, or else I'll never be able to function again.
That would be
Vietnam War vet core Cody and Chopper being like, so who'd you serve with? Where were you? Like, no, because like they would. I will also say when you said Trilla and Cody, my immediate thought, like, first of all, yeah, Purge Trooper Inquisitor, but like, I'm just saying, Trilla already is rocking like the black eyeliner, like punk rock look, and I'm just saying, if you were capable of drawing characters in a good way, I'm not saying you should draw Commander Cody with like really great black eyeliner and like a cut black t-shirt, but I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying that like they would go to Phoebe Bridgers together. They would go to that concert.
Okay,
comment directed to a specific person.
Commander Cody and Trilla Siduri walk into the Phoebe Bridgers concert in the skeleton onesies and the black eyeliner. I'm sorry.
So true.
I actually happen to know a really good artist, like phenomenal. Her name is Ella, but I don't know if she's listening to this or not. But I'm just kidding.
You guys are gonna make me draw so much art for random stuff that like I will be drawing Bell Reath, and like no one else is gonna know what it is.
No,
we win.
Me and Noah have really gotten a Bell Reath fandom together. Like it's pretty solid right now.
It's like our baby at this point.
Really
God works hard, but Sage and Noah work harder.
True. Absolutely so true.
In all fairness, like I'm drawing a lot of High Republic art in hopes that it gets other people to read the High Republic. So
And I think it will. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, I do believe like the hyperpunk stuff that you draw is such a great, like, I don't know, you really capture like the vibes of the stories. Like your art of Reath and Cohmac, I was like, no, that's my best friend.
I mean, I vaguely said like that I would also pick Eli for Cody to meet because I think that Eli and Cody would just get along really well. Obviously, actually, that is where Cody really is, and that's why we don't see him in Rebels, because Thrawn actually met Cody first. And he's like, you know what, this guy, he's pretty cool. He has a lot of talent. I think that just Ascendancy could benefit from having this man there. So he sent Cody there. We all thought Eli was the first human that Thrawn had sent to the Ascendancy. But no, it was actually Cody. And they just don't like mention him. But then eventually Eli and Cody meet, and Eli's just like, damn, there was another human here before, and they become besties. And Cody kicks Briley Ronan's ass because he's just like, shut up, don't speak.
Okay, but like realistically, I do genuinely believe that if Thrawn had met Cody, he'd be like, you're very slay, and like, you know what's going on. I think you'd like we're joking about it, but in all honesty, if those two were to cross paths, I imagine Thrawn would be like, this guy's pretty fun. I think he'd be helpful over in like the Just Ascendancy. We should just go there now. Like Cody goes to Order 66 and Thrawn shows back up and is like, hey, I know this is like an awkward time, but since you're clearly not that busy, try to like come back.
So this is how I'm decanonizing Thrawn alliances. The actual plot is exactly that.
Right. Okay. I'm glad we've established that. I know Timothy Zahn is listening right now. I'm so sorry that your book is no longer canon, but we here at the Gay Star Wars podcast have decided and decreed it's over for you. Yeah.
The thought of freaking Thrawn meeting Cody instead of Anakin during his little trip to lesser space with Che'ri.
Oh my god. Cody and Che'ri? Are you kidding?
Cody,
yes. The only thing I ever will care about ever again is Cody and Che'ri meeting Timothy Zahn. If you don't give it to me, I will be in your walls throwing bricks through your window. Please, right now.
I know we always say like, yeah, Thrawn as a cool dad figure, or like Samacro as a cool dad figure for Che'ri, which those could still be true, but like Cody as the cool dad figure to Che'ri.
I'm not saying that like Cody kind of has Joel Miller energy, but I'm not saying that.
Will you shut up?
I can't. I'm so sorry. I want to, but The Last of Us has infected my brain.
So at the beginning of recording this episode, I did text Noah and I said, what if the Bad Batch season 2 is just The Last of Us AU, where Cody is Joel and Omega is Ellie? And if you guys have any idea what I'm talking about, I'm so sorry. Like,
oh my god.
Yeah. When I tell you that, like, I will be like going about my day and then I'm like, I'm just gonna text Sage some bullshit about The Last of Us. I'm like, it's not just me. I'll be like at work and I'll get a text and it's like, do you think that this like really sad thing would happen? And I'm like, yeah, I do. I'm trying to do my job right now.
As if I'm not also at work. Like, as if
I think we just both have like a very similar strain of brain rot that revolves around this game about plant zombies. So, and I can't stop talking about it right now because I'm replaying part 2 and like, it's, yeah, my flop.
Yeah, me
it's
too.
bad.
In this scenario, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, you guys. In this scenario, I do believe that flash forward to the future, like, so around like the rebellion, the age of the rebellion, is Che'ri not Dina? Like, are they? So sorry.
You can't keep doing this.
Okay, I'm done.
I know you're not wrong. Like, reality is just there. Okay, but wait a minute. If Cody is Joel in our Bad Batch The Last of Us AU,
Can't this.
Who is Abby?
See, you know, if this was a regular episode with the rest of the regular hosts, this would be like when Ollie and like Claudia are talking about Supernatural or something. But now it's Sage and Noah are talking about The Last of Us.
But like, who's Abby?
What if it's Crosshair?
No! Oh my god.
The Abbyification of Crosshair.
So funny. I think that Crosshair just is
because Cody kills Tarkin, and then Crosshair's like, no,
no!
Cody.
Okay, first off, Tarkin can't ever die, just so we're clear here. Like, Tarkin survived the Death Star blowing up. Like, I'm certain of that. I didn't see a body. There was no body.
You sound like me when I talk about like my theory that Krennic is alive.
He is!
This is all the same AU that like
Tarkin
Cody won
and-
his canon and
No!
and all that stuff. Like
Tarkin and Krennic are both alive.
The idea that in order for Trilla to survive and Cody want to be canon, Tarkin and Krennic must also both live. Like, talk about at what
I'm
cost.
so sorry.
Damn.
But
This has been such a normal episode. We're also normal insane, and we sound so put
yeah,
together.
absolutely. Speaking of being normal insane,
I do think that, like, I knew that Sage was going to say Chopper meeting Obi-Wan, but also because they have the same color scheme. Think about it.
the orange.
They're meant to be besties. They're meant to be besties.
Road trip buddy comedy, but it's Chopper and Cody.
Love that.
I would watch the hell out of that. Are you kidding me?
I'd watch 8 seasons of that.
Are you kidding
Much
me?
like
Dave Filoni, where
so
are you?
much.
Chopper and Cody are on the road. It doesn't really matter where they're going. They're just in a car together.
Let me get Bella on the phone. This is our next comic.
This is our next major art project. Actually, is we need to write script and then Belle can finish off and just draw Chopper and Cody on their grandiose road trip adventure through like Nevada or something stupid.
Yeah. Daniel Jose Older, if you're listening.
Bay Area.
That's where Cody is. Cody is in the Bay Area with Chopper.
God.
We figured it out, you guys.
Speaking of where Cody is, that brings us to my favorite segment that's usually for normal RuPaul's episodes and just for my content is Cody Watch. And you might be wondering, what the hell are we going to Cody watch, Jess? This is just talking about Cody in general. But let's talk about some stuff that we know for sure Cody is going to appear in next. Next month, no, it's actually this month, the end of this month, because it is July. I keep forgetting it's July. But Obi-Wan 2022 comic run, like issue number 3, will be coming out. And Cody is for sure going to appear in that, according to the Marvel panel from Star Wars Celebration, where they said Cody will be an actual main character. So I am already screaming and crying internally every day about that and anticipating that. And then, Bad Batch season 2, we know Cody is going to be in there. But you know what's coming out before Bad Batch season 2? Andor. So will Commander Cody appear in Andor? Find out at the end of August, where I will start being like, is Commander Cody here? Oh yeah, there's also Jedi Survivor and the High Republic Phase 2. High Republic Phase 2 comes out in like November, right?
That's when
October.
I can enter my
October, yeah.
That's when I can enter my full Vildermax Stan era. It's coming. Unrelated to that, do you have any idea the monster both Jess and I would become if Cody is like a character in Jedi Survivor?
Me, Sage, Noah start crying, screaming.
You just excluded me from that, Noah.
I forgot that you played that game because on our
Sage
podcast,
is freaking Trilla, like Stan
I know
69.
No, I know. It's too late in this country. I'm gonna die here. I'm gonna fall apart. The fact I'm still on Boston time after being here for a week and a half. This is hell. Anyway, so I'm gonna just eat the walls and live there now as my penance for that. But my point being, Commander Cody, if you're out there, please give us a sign.
Cody and Jedi Survivor. I'm lighting the candles. I'm writing it down.
Okay, well, wait a minute. Cody and Jedi Survivor. Why? He and Trilla are together. They're at the Phoebe Bridgers concert.
There we go.
We're good to go. Commander Cody and Trilla are singing Moon Song together.
The circle's complete.
I think we can close this by asking an important question. What is Commander Cody's favorite Phoebe Bridgers song?
I'm gonna have to think about it. Give me like 2 seconds.
I hate to say Killer, but it's not his favorite, but it is a song about him a little bit.
I feel like depressingly, I know the end.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's an angsty guy.
He'll find a new place to be from, like ultimately, if we're being
Yes.
I do think pre-Order 66, he was definitely a Chinese satellite girly.
No, you're right.
Specifically because of the lyricism around, like, I don't really believe in higher powers. Like, Commander Cody's like, I don't really believe in the Force, but like Obi-Wan does, so I care about it. Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, I do feel like I know for sure that Trilla is an I know the end girly. And when the scream happens at the end, Oh, she's yelling.
She's yelling. I do think now I have it actually. I know for a fact Cody's favorite Phoebe song is Souvenir.
So true.
It is Souvenir.
Your mind is so powerful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I just
I don't want to be sad, but I am going to suggest Cody won Scott Street. Okay, I'll leave now.
I was preparing myself mentally. I was building up walls as we were having this conversation.
Preparing,
right? Sentence to come from your mouth.
Right. For this, I'm a Scott Street girly through and through, and unfortunately, whenever I have characters that I care about, I'm like, well, I have to project it onto them. I'm not saying that's why Scott Street is on the Bell Reath playlist, but it's not that.
Anyway, I expect the Cody like playlist drop sometime within the next 24 hours, please.
I'm on it.
I think that's actually all for the Cody Glup Shittisode.
Our very first
we made it
Shittisode.
Through.
Thanks to our guests for coming on. This has been really fun.
Yeah. Do you have any?
Thank you for having us. Yeah.
Do y'all have any final like Cody like thoughts?
Quinlan Voss, I love you more than I love life itself, but I will slap you in the face when I see you because you did break Commander Cody's legs.
So true.
Cody, I love you, and if I don't see you soon, I might just disintegrate and cease to be a living being. Thank you.
I would just like to say to everybody who's working on the Bad Batch season 2, it's on site. Like, it's on site. Do not mess with that man. I'm in your walls, etc. You know the drill.
I think my only real final thoughts about that gentleman, as if I hadn't already said literally everything I thought about him over the past some odd hours of recording. He's a funky little guy. I love him. And I am no longer asking, I want Cody to survive the Bad Batch season 2. This is not a request. This is a statement. Because as Ella said, if it doesn't happen, it's gone. Yeah. It's over. I'm in your walls. Like, it's gonna happen.
So true. I feel exactly the same. Like, Lucasfilm, I will be right outside your fucking studio if something happens to Cody. Once again, I say for legal reasons, this is a joke. But yeah, Cody lives in my brain rent-free because I'm just like, yes, you can stay here. I don't care if all I think about is you, Cody. I also forgot about the Lego special that's coming out soon. I hope Cody's in that because I know Obi-Wan is there and he's wearing a fun little, his fun little Hawaiian shirt. So I hope Cody's there too. But
Cody and Lego is the cutest thing ever. I have a little Cody Lego and I love it so
also
much.
Cody won his canon in the Lego dub. Remember?
Yeah, in the Lego game.
Yeah.
So thank you for listening to our first ever Glup Shittisode. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on Commander Cody, and episodes usually drop on Sundays, except for right now we're doing bi-weekly until Andor comes out. And for updates, Star Wars news, and more curse shit, follow us on social media at RuPalp's Podrace on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. If you really love the show, please rate and review it on Apple Podcasts, Podchaser, Spotify, or Overcast. It means a lot to us. May the Force be with you. And don't priff it up.
Waka waka.
Waka waka.
Waka.
Welcome to the Waka Waka Hive.
The Waka Zone.